Welcome back to another episode. I'm drinking my coffee, which needs to be reheated. I don't know about you, but I think I reheat my coffee at least 6 times a day. If I could get the average of how many times I do that. And then I never actually finish it, which is kind of the ironic thing, because then it gets to be 4 p.m. and I'm like, well, I probably shouldn't be drinking this now because I'll stay up. So anyway, welcome back to another episode. I am so stinking nervous and excited to open up about mom anger today. I don't even know totally where I want to go with this. We might not even have a ton of time today to talk about all of the things that I want to talk about with this. And to be honest with you, I'm still very much in the middle of figuring this out. I'm very much in the middle of healing. I'm very much in the middle of, I don't know, just figuring out the root cause and doing all of the things to try to help whatever is going on with this mom anger. So, we're just going to open up a little bit about that today. I think it is something I've talked about with multiple moms and my friends, and let's just say I feel like I haven't totally opened up 100% about what's really going on and how I'm really feeling. And so it's been a lot of opening up with friends, my closest friends who I know love me and would not judge me and would not and they would pray for me, obviously, all of the things. But man, it has only been recently, like probably 2 weeks ago, where I told Tony I need to book a counseling session, immediately, and I need to talk about this. And I am just going to tell her about everything, and I'm going to open up about everything. And that's really scary for so many reasons. I think one of them being it's just super vulnerable. And I'm typically a vulnerable person for most of me, but then there's like that 10% that you're like, but if I really told you this, like, would you still like me? Like, well, how would you perceive me? How would I perceive myself if I got honest with myself about all of that? If I got honest with God, and even though he already knows, just like opened up to him about that, like, what would that look like? And so anyway, we're just going to talk about that today and all of the things. So, like I said, it was a couple weeks ago that I finally made a counseling appointment, and I went to the counseling appointment. I've been seeing my counselor for, I think this year will be 5 years now, which I'm so thankful for her. And it is even hard, I think, to open up to a counselor sometimes. I don't know. At least I've felt that way. I'm pretty open to her about most of the things, but it felt like this was something that was going to be hard to share with her. Like, is she going to think I'm crazy? Like, what is she going to think of me when I share with her my thoughts and like how I have just all of this anger just built up for I don't even know why, and I don't even know where it's coming from. And so I told her everything. I told her my thoughts. I told her my feelings. I said, I am so desperate for help that I will do anything. Like, I will go to anger management. Like, I literally don't care what it is, but I need help. And so I opened up to her about all of that, and she was so kind and so loving and so honest, I feel like, in the way that she just listened and sat with me, told me I'm not crazy, told me this was her third client she had that week that was talking to her about mom anger. So I really think it is this thing that we kind of talk about, but I don't know if we're fully getting honest about all of the things. So today I'm going to get really honest with you, that I have dealt with this pretty much since Noah was in her toddler years, Noah being our oldest, and she's 2 now. And as soon as she turned 2, there was something that came out of her and me that was not pretty. And so I've just been navigating it for months of, being so frustrated at the things she's doing or the choices that she's making. I'll get so frustrated easily. I will get so angry easily when she doesn't listen to me, when she's not following directions. And again, it might sound crazy. It might sound like, how can a 2-year-old, and I've asked myself this, how can a 2-year-old bring all of this out of me? Like, what the heck? And so I've had those same exact thoughts, and maybe you can't relate to this, and that's okay. But maybe you know someone who's going through this, and maybe you are going through this and you haven't told anybody. So all that to say, I'm here. I'm here to sit with you. I'm here to share my story about it. So anyways, yeah, I have just been getting easily angered with her, easily frustrated, especially when she doesn't listen or when she runs away to me. When I'm like, hey, come here, like, let's get dressed for the day. And she goes and runs. That frustrates me to no end. And I was just getting really frustrated so easily, so quickly. I could feel it like physically in my body. Like I felt it in my chest. I just felt like this different person came out of me that I still don't like, that it just feels so ungodly. It feels like, and I've just been in this wrestling with it. Like, God, like, I am a Christian. So doesn't this mean that I shouldn't be this angry? Shouldn't I be showing or having the fruits of the Spirit, which in there is patience and gentleness and kindness and self-control? Like, shouldn't I be having those? Like, this isn't gentle. This is not having self-control. Like, I am just getting so angry, and I would put her in so many timeouts, and just having all of those quick reactions. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no pause. Even if I thought to myself, God, help me pause, I still wouldn't pause. It was like, it's just been really difficult. So those are kind of some of the things that I was walking through, and that I just got really honest about in counseling. And it would just be this cycle. It's just been this vicious cycle of, I get angry, and then I'll yell. I've yelled at her. I've raised my voice at her. And then I'll feel so guilty and feel so much shame. Like, I'm a bad mom. Why am I doing this? I'm a believer. What, like, God, like, help me. I need your help. And then, I would apologize to her. So I would say that is something that I have been good at, is once I've cooled down, I will get on her level and I will say, Mommy got really angry, and that was not okay to react that way. It's okay to get angry, but it is not okay to react the way that I did to you, and I'm really sorry. And would you please forgive me? And so I will say that is something I've not been afraid of, that I have not, been prideful to do. I will do that. But what I have struggled with is, even after I do that, I'll do it again. Like, an hour later. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like we're going through the same thing again. And then I feel like, does my apology, does it even matter? Because like is she gonna even believe me? Do I even believe my own apology? Because I truly was sorry, but here I am doing it again just an hour later. And then again, feeling more guilt and more shame. And then it's just been this vicious cycle. And so I want to share with you some things that I have been doing the past couple of months that I feel like have just helped a little bit. Again, I am so in the middle of this. And let me tell you, I have been desperate for healing in this area. I have confessed this sin. I have prayed about this sin. I have had other people pray about this sin. I have fasted about this sin. I feel like I've done all of the things. I've checked all the boxes, and it's still happening. It's still so present, even when I try so hard to call on God and be like, I need your help, and I still fall short every single day, almost every single day. And so I really am I'm sharing this with you in a place of like, I'm in the middle of this and I'm not on the other side of healing. And yeah, I just want to share a few things with you that I think has helped a little bit. Again, I'm still figuring out so much of this. But one thing I shared with you is going to counseling and talking to someone about it is, I think, so important. We really dug into where could my anger be coming from? And that was another thing that I would share with you is, I would challenge you to ask yourself, like, where is this coming from? What am I actually upset about? And one thing I've learned in counseling over the years is that for me personally, my symptom is anger, but I feel something else underneath of it. So I might be frustrated, I might be disappointed, I might be angry, I might be really sad, I might be scared, whatever it is, all of that sort of comes out as anger for me. And so that is one thing I have learned about myself, is that I might not actually be angry, I might just be really overwhelmed, I might be really frustrated, I might be really sad about this, and that typically is just the symptom that comes out. So definitely I challenge you, if this is something that you walk through or are walking through right now, to ask yourself, like, what am I really feeling right now? And just get really honest with yourself, and then start getting honest with your spouse. And your kids, but even your spouse. If there has been times recently where I just want to kind of, I would love to stay in my anger, but I'm trying to choose to actually confess what's really going on to Tony. And in that, there is something that breaks free, and it's just so, I feel like chains are just lifted off, and I am free when I confess, hey, I'm not actually angry. I'm sorry. Like I'm actually just really hurt and really disappointed by this thing, or maybe by the way that was said. And it's actually not, I'm not actually angry at you, but this is really where it's coming from. And I'm really working on choosing to tell this, to to you and to tell you the truth and to open up, because the more I hold it in, the more I'm just angry, and it doesn't help anybody. And so confessing that to even Tony has been super helpful. Instead of just keeping it all in, all inside. Something else that I have been really trying to do as well is just take some pauses throughout the day. If I've been like going where I'm taking care of the girls, taking care of myself, I'm cleaning our house, I'm doing the laundry, I've just cooked them lunch or made them lunch, whatever it is. I've just done all these things. Maybe mom just needs a little pause. Like maybe I need to sit down for 10 minutes and just sit. I'm not saying sit and reach for my phone and scroll, because that's what I tend to do, but that's not actually going to give me what I need. And I know that and feel that every time afterwards. Like it does not help the anger. It does not help the overstimulation. When I sit and when I just sit, or I turn on a song, or I just talk to God, like whatever it is, I might try to open my Bible and just look at a verse really quick and just kind of focus on that verse. Taking those little pauses throughout the day, I think, has been helpful. Again, I feel like in motherhood, we just are constantly doing something and constantly thinking about something. I don't know, maybe you're not, but I definitely feel that way. And so taking these little pauses throughout the day just to kind of decompress a little bit has been helpful. Another thing that I have started to do, and this has actually been really fun for the girls as well, is try to be more fun. And that sounds like so simple and so, I don't know, just like be more fun. Like, what do you mean? But the girls love watching little like music videos, like Christian music videos of like Elevation Church or another worship band. And I will turn that on the TV and we'll all just rock out and dance to that. And I feel like it just releases whatever's going on in my brain. Like it takes whatever situation or circumstance that feels so heavy, or whatever feels very, like I'm just like kind of zoned in on the circumstances. I'm kind of zoned in on the problem. It kind of brings me out a little bit. I get to zoom out a little bit and I get to have fun and just release some of that with the girls. And so I feel like the moments that I've been like struggling, I'm like, okay, let's try to have a little dance party. Let's play some music and let's kind of shift our perspective a little bit, because it really is so much about, I think obviously anger and all of this is very complex, but I think a lot of it can be our perspective when we're feeling the weight of everything, and that could come out as anger. A small shift in our perspective, a small little dance party could really shift that for us. My foot is falling asleep, and that is the most annoying thing to me, is when my foot falls asleep and it just feels the little pins and needles. I cannot stand that. And that's what's happening right now, because I've been sitting crisscross applesauce for a minute. Anyway, all that to say, motherhood is literally the most beautiful, difficult thing I have ever done. I would not, even though there's so many things about that is hard and that is difficult, I would not change being a mom. Like, I would not choose not being a mom over being a mom. It is the most beautiful, like, rewarding thing I have ever done. And I'll be so real with you that there is days when it's like, I just want to not be a mom. Like, I just want to not, like, I've had these thoughts of like, I just I just need a break. I just need to breathe. I just need some space, and maybe you do really need, a little pause, or you need a breath of fresh air, or you need to go grab a coffee at a coffee shop and you need like an hour to yourself. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I am trying to take away the word needing a break from my children because I feel like it's very negative and I don't like saying that. I will tell Tony like I need some alone time because that more so focuses on what I need rather than focusing on like this negative talk of like I just need a break from my children, because you probably don't need a break from your actual children. Like there's probably something else going on there. Do you know what I mean? Like anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. That's a whole topic for another time. I'd be happy to talk about more in a future episode, but all that to say, it is literally so great. Motherhood is so great, and it is so hard all in one, like all combined in one. There's so many feelings and emotions, and you're physically tired, but there's so much good out of it. And I truly think that there is so much, and I'm learning this and have learned this over the years too, the 2 years that I've been a mom, is that there's so much value in motherhood. You have such a big, important role to raising your kids. And I feel like we have, as women, over time, we have desired to chase other roles in our life, whether that would be popularity or fame or, influence or a career, the high GPA or the highest degree I could ever have. Like we have chosen, I'm not saying everyone, and I've definitely fallen into this, so I'm not saying this from a place of like, of judgment, but I'm just saying overall, I think as women, we have chosen to chase a lot of titles other than motherhood. And motherhood and being a wife is also very important. I'm just talking specifically about motherhood. It is, again, the role that it's not just about you. It is literally changing the lives of little people who are going to be big people one day, and they're going to have their own lives. Like your mothering literally affects and impacts generations. And there's a verse in the Bible. Oh, where is that? I don't remember where that was. Hold on. There is a verse in the Bible. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, it talked about just impacting generations. And I think that we forget about that. I think that it's easy to get very short-sighted in our vision of motherhood and like the heart of what's going on right now in front of us. But when we have the vision of like, hey, eternity, and not just my kids or our kids, your kids being in heaven with us, but like their kids and their kids and their kids, because you have a direct impact on them in your mothering. Like I'm not saying that from a place of like, hey, you need to have it all together and you need to be this perfect Christian mom and you need to get all these things right. And it's too late because your kid's already grown and like you just became a Christian. Like I don't know your story, but whatever those thoughts are, pause on those for a second. I'm just saying that the impact is incredible because it's just generational. And I have just been trying to see things from that perspective of like, I'm not just, my discipline, my mothering, my love for them, my serving them. It's not just for right now. Like, this is to help them grow and to be people that love and follow Jesus and love and serve other people. And that's going to impact people around them, when they get older. So it really is just this really cool ripple effect that at times for me, I can tell you it feels super overwhelming. Like, I need to have it all together. Like, I need to have all the answers. Like, my discipline needs to be perfect. My talking to them, my vocabulary, me giving them choices, all the things just needs to be perfect because I'm going to mess them up if not. And then they're not going to have an impact on the world, or they're not going to be this, God follower, whatever those things I can tell myself is. I have to take that pressure off. Realize that it's important, that the mothering you do is important, without feeling like it's all on you, if that makes sense. You have an important role to play, but try not to also put all of that pressure on you, if that makes sense. And I know that's easier said than done. I feel like I'm kind of going on a tangent now, but there are times that I tell Jesus, like, can you please fix all of my flaws so that I won't pass them down to my children, and that's just not realistic. Like, you are going to mess your kids up in some way because we are not perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. And so our kids are going to get a lack of some sort in some way. But as long as you continue to pursue holiness, I don't even want to say it like that. Continue to pursue holiness. Pray for your kids, love your kids, serve your kids. But when you fall short, and you will fall short because we all fall short every single day, just remember God loves your kids more than you love your kids. He loves them and knows them so much more intimately than you do. And you can find peace and comfort in that, knowing even when you mess up, even when you sin against them, make mistakes, even in your mom anger that you are struggling with every single day, that He is still in control, that God is still in control, and God sees the whole situation. And that doesn't mean that they won't pursue a relationship with Him now or a relationship with Him in the future by your mistakes, by your falling short. I don't think that means we stay idle and we're lazy and don't guide our kids. But I do think there's this balance of like, hey, lead them, but also know, like, lead them towards Christ, but also know that you're not Christ. Like, you don't have all of the answers and you won't get it right. And I think the more that you actually have humility in that, and you humble yourself before your kids, and you let them know that you don't actually have it all together. But I know who does. I know this guy who does have it all together. I know this guy who is perfect and he is holy. And he is a father who loves you more than I love you. I want to point you towards him. I want to point you towards that guy. And that's Jesus. And so I think when we come from that place, I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right. And again, who knows, maybe in a year from now, after I listen to this podcast, I'll have a completely different perspective, but that's kind of where I'm at right now. And just wanted to share some of that with you and open up about that with you, because we're all in this together, and no one has it all together. even if it seems like that on the outside sometimes through the things that we see, on social media or whatever it is, no one has it all together. So anyway, I am going to let you go. I'm going to wrap up this episode, but I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for listening. All right, bye, friend.